and welcome to another teacher talk session tonight. Tonight we are going to have another educator from different part of the world, and tonight we are having ESOL Tutor Meagan Gaskell from England, the UK. When she comes, we are going to start our live session with her. So let me invite her, then we're gonna start. I'm sure it's going to be a very fruitful session with Meagan. So let me invite her. I have invited Meagan. Hello, Meagan. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Oh, I'm so
Perfect.
pleased. So pleased.
So it's wonderful. It's wonderful. We are so happy. You look very happy.
You, you have no idea how happy I am.
It's great. It's great to see you,
Thank
Meagan.
you so much.
You're welcome. Before starting the live sessions, Meagan, I just wanted to say, would like to say actually, thank you very much for accepting my invitation for Teacher Talks. And it's a great honor to have you here. And I'm sure that we are going to have a very fruitful session with you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I was delighted to get your message and was really happy to accept. So thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And if you are ready, and we can start, Meagan.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I know about you, and maybe the followers or audiences would like to know about you. So can you please tell about yourself and a bit about your experiences too?
Yes, absolutely. So I was born in Canada. And at the age of 6, decided I wanted to live in England. It took a while, but in 1991, I moved to the UK, and I've been here ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Being a teacher was never on my radar. I found myself in a very in a job that I didn't expect, and I have come to teaching later in life, but many things sort of brought me here, and one of the things is my own experience learning language. In Canada, you might know that it's bilingual, French and English, but some provinces are more bilingual than others.
I see.
Yes. So we moved around a little bit and ended up in Quebec when I was 12. Very bilingual. You need to learn to speak French. And my experiences in secondary school, high school, with learning French were not positive.
I see.
And that's something that I think I've sort of brought with me. Still didn't want to be a teacher, but I couldn't imagine doing anything else now.
I see. I got it. Okay. So thank you very much, Meagan. So what was, or let's move to another question, by the way. What was or were your turning point or points in your own education?
Well, thinking back to my experiences in secondary school, learning French, no communicative activities at all. It was essentially just copying from the board, gap fills, very, very uninspiring. And most of my friends and fellow students were already bilingual, could already speak French. So I was very shy, didn't speak, struggled, and ended up in what they called remedial French, which was very demotivating. And then for some reason, when I moved on to college, I decided to study Spanish. And I thought, French wasn't right. I'm going to study Spanish. And that was even worse because the teacher taught Spanish via French. So I abandoned that. So
nice.
It was a struggle. But when I was in university, I did classics, and I studied Latin.
I see.
My teacher was phenomenal. We spoke, we did puppet shows, we read books. And that was for me a moment where I actually started to understand the language. That was really exciting.
I see.
And of course, if you don't use the language, you lose it. So I've lost a lot of my Latin, but it was exciting. And when I moved to the UK, I pursued other careers. And it wasn't until I had maybe a bit of a midlife crisis, I went through a very bad time, my mum suggested doing a TEFL course, which I did, and it sort of took my mind off things, gave me a focus. I really enjoyed it. I started doing some online conversation clubs, mainly with students from Japan. Really enjoyed it. Started doing some volunteering and learning and watching language teachers work, and I found it really exciting. And the interaction with the students, the engagement, learning about different people coming from different cultures, different countries was fascinating. And that spurred me on to do more study. So I did do the CELTA, which opened things up a little bit more.
Definitely.
And now I'm doing the Delta.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, very difficult. But
it's very tough. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Good luck.
But yeah, I need it. But it's just changed things, and so many things. I mean, learning about pronunciation. And what was a big thing for me was when I did the CELTA, that was the first time I'd ever seen the phonemic chart. What was this thing? Very scary.
You were surprised about it. Wow. Is this something like this?
Yeah. And but what I found difficult was that it was never explained to me that because I'm from Canada and I make sounds differently, that particular phonemic chart wouldn't really apply to me, because I just didn't get it. And it wasn't until I did my own, I did a course. I don't know if I'm allowed to say who I did it with.
Of course you can.
Mark Hancock, Taylor Viega, fantastic.
Really?
Opened, just opened my mind.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, I was a session with him here, Teacher Talks. He was here, Mark Hancock.
I saw. And for me, that was a huge turning point, and it just suddenly it made sense. And that was huge. And also the idea of authentic listening and connected speech, huge. Never occurred to me. When students say, I understand you in the classroom, but the minute I leave, I don't know what I'm hearing, and they feel really upset. They think, what's wrong with me? So learning about connected speech and authentic listening has been huge as well. And also looking at a more sort of lexical approach, looking at chunking of language has just incredible, and is really just changed from that TEFL course that I've done. It's just my world has become 100 times bigger and more exciting.
Wonderful. More definitely. I'm sure that, and I'm sure that it was a really tough way, and it's really, really tough and difficult for you to do it. Okay, wonderful. Would you like to add in other things, or can I move another question?
Yes, no, please go on. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Meagan. So I'm sure that you have been teaching for a long time, and you have tried some strategies or maybe methodologies or techniques in your classes or for your students. So probably you have kind of a philosophy of teaching. So what is it? What is your philosophy of teaching?
I think the most important thing is to have fun and to experiment, try new things, And just, I always see myself as a, my students are a team, and we're sort of on this journey together. And I think, you know, the philosophy is just, you know, you're in it together, go for it, experiment, have fun. And some things might work, some things might be successful, some things not so much, and that's okay. Just have, you know, give it a try.
Give it a try. I see. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Meagan. So let's move to another question. We teach that, as you know, that we teach English as a teacher, and you're teaching and I'm teaching. So as an English teacher, and how do you define teaching English?
It's interesting. I was thinking a lot about this, this idea of teaching English, and I think for me the most important thing is communication. It is just giving people the ability to communicate what they need to communicate confidently and clearly and effectively as possible.
I see.
All about the just communication.
I understand. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Meagan. So, as a language teacher, you know that for all of us, the language communities take a really, you know, the important part or a place in our world. So, and we should definitely follow and kind of a community. What is your idea about language communities? Should ELT teachers become a member of them, like, for example, ESOL or ITOEFL or INGET or other communities? What do you think?
Absolutely. Without question, absolutely. When I first started teaching ESOL, I was sort of thrown in with very little experience. I had no idea, to be honest, what I was doing. My first real teaching job, we have no syllabus, we have no course books. The students are working towards an exam, so we have an idea of sort of what they need to sort of pass the exam, and what they need to communicate. But with no course book, no syllabus, it was really difficult. And there was always that doubt, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I helping my students? And I think I'm not alone. And you know, you might agree and other teachers might agree that teaching can be really lonely at times, and very much you're in your own head, worrying, doubting, and feeling a bit lost. And I joined ITOEFL. Again, my world got bigger. And I felt, I get emotional thinking about it. I mean, I've met so many fantastic people, learned lots of new things, the idea of authentic listening, lexical approach, all that. It's just, it is so valuable. And I would say to any teacher, join.
I see.
Find an ELT community that you like and join. The benefits are huge.
Yeah, I can see that. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I was in also ITOEFL in 2015 in Manchester. That was really wonderful. Yeah. And I had the chance to met lots of, you know, the important educators over there, and I feel really lucky about it. And that was the last time I've been there.
Right. in 2024. You must
I hope so. I don't know. It's really difficult for us, but I don't know. Who knows? We will see. Okay, so let's move to another question. Thank you very much, by the way, Megan. So I'm gonna ask you a question about the CPD. So about the professional development. So should CPD be a mandatory for teachers? What do you think about it?
Absolutely. This is so ESOL is a little bit different maybe than EFL.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that shocked me a bit when I went to the IATEFL conference in Harrogate is there was a little bit more of a focus on ESOL, and there were a lot of people there saying, "Oh, what's ESOL? Never heard of ESOL. What is it?"
Mm-hmm.
Which was a shock. And ESOL is English for speakers of other languages, and it's often refugees.
I see.
So, you know, we have a lot of refugees coming to the UK from all over the world, but at the moment, obviously many from Ukraine, Afghanistan. We've had quite a few from Hong Kong as well, Syria.
Hong Kong. Oh.
Yes, they were given an opportunity to come, and yet so quite a mixture. So there's many reasons why people don't leave their homes really willingly. They are sort of forced to leave, and they come, for example, to the UK, and their courses, for the most part, are funded by the government.
By the government, I see.
Yeah, so they don't pay for their courses. Some do. There's lots of different stipulations, but for the most part, most of them don't pay, or they pay a minimal amount.
I see.
This means that the tutors, there's not a lot of money in the pot for continued professional development. And we get certain training, obviously things like prevent and safeguarding and GDPR, but nothing to do with teaching.
I see.
Nothing to help our teaching. And for me, well, I don't know. It could be a different, it depends maybe on where you are, but where I am, there's not a lot of teacher sort of continued professional development. And that is a huge shame, because I think it's very easy to get stuck in a rut. And that is something I think you want to avoid. And by doing, I mean, I've done a lot of CPD. I've paid for it myself. It's an investment. Don't earn a lot of money, but I'm happy because it is an investment. But it's just changed the way I teach. It's got me to look at things in a different way.
Different way.
Yeah, and it's got me to bring, you know, to experiment, which I think is really important, and try new things in the classroom. So, yeah, I think CPD is really important. There's so much happening out there with education, and I think as teachers, it's important to kind of, you know what's going on, know new developments, and bring them into the classroom.
I understand. Thank you, Megan. Let me ask you another question. You have just mentioned the ESOL. So can you just give, actually you said it, maybe you would like to add more things about ESOL, like what is it? So what are the challenges of teaching ESOL? Would you like to add anything else?
Yeah, there's actually, it's fascinating. I love ESOL. It's incredible. I mean, when I first started teaching ESOL in 2017, many of my students have already, they'd already been living in the UK for a number of years. Their level of English was, I mean, they're fluent, but they need the exams, not for citizenship. The ESOL exams don't get you citizenship, but they show that you've achieved a certain level in English. And with ESOL, the highest level that we teach is level 2, which is about B2 level. in September, I started teaching a group of women from Afghanistan. Many of those women are not literate in their own languages, never mind English. And yeah, this was a huge challenge for me. This idea of teaching literacy. And where do you start? What do you do? And so depending on your students, I mean, there are huge challenges. And that has been a fascinating challenge and really rewarding.
Rewarding, I see.
But difficult. And, you know, with ESOL classes, especially with the lower levels, what you want to focus on is that real functional emergency English. Can they fill in a form? Can they ring 999? Can they communicate with someone at the job center or their child's school? So it's very focused. As the levels increase, a lot of my entry 3, level 1, level 2 students, they're looking at improving their job prospects.
I see.
Maybe they want to continue their education, or just, you know, be able to communicate with their children's teacher in a deeper way, or they want to be able to socialize. So ESOL is huge.
I understand. Huge. I got the point. It's like when it's the beginning, it's like more specific. When the level is, you know, to become higher, they become high, and it become more general.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. I got it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Meagan. There is a question from. Let me ask you. Nilgün asks, I wonder if Meagan think that CPT must be a part of performance evaluation regarding contact of employment.
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's important when you're applying for jobs that your employer sees that you're interested in teaching. And that's been my experience when I've been applying for jobs. They want to see that you're developing as a teacher. So I think that is important. I think, though, that if an employer does stipulate, they should also provide some good CPD as well. But I think it is important because I think, you know, teachers, I feel now more and more that it is important to continue to look at new things, to get fresh ideas. And, you know, CPD, it doesn't necessarily, I think, have to be doing a course. I think joining an organization like NACLA or IETEFL or TESOL is a good way, because you're hopefully interacting, you're a part of a community, and I think that that's an important part of CPD as well. Even just having a monthly meetup where you share ideas, I think that's really important.
By the way, Turgut Hocam is also saying that is it developmental versus judgmental about the
interesting. Oh, I don't know. Definitely developmental, I think.
Developmental.
Yeah, I think it's good. You're developing new skills, and hopefully maybe developing more specific interests in certain areas of teaching English. Maybe something that you hadn't maybe considered before.
I got it. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Meagan, and thank you, Nilgün Hocam and Turgut Hocam. Thank you. Okay, so let's move to another question. And Meagan, when you think about your training session, probably you train other teachers or something like this on presentations or etc. What was or were the most interesting situation or situation that you faced?
gosh, that's an interesting one. I did actually do some teacher training for TEFL, and for me, that was a really big moment because I kind of had this moment where it might sound stupid, but I thought I understand what I'm teaching, and I hope I'm helping the other students to sort of understand teaching English. And it was really exciting. And I think just in terms of doing some teacher training, that was a really nice moment. And feeling, I don't know, for me with teaching, there's such a wonderful feeling when you see excitement in students, and you see that they're excited, and maybe they think about the possibilities of what they're going to do with what they've learned. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Whatever you say. Thank you. Thank you, Megan. So I know, Megan, that you are I think if I'm not wrong, you are interested in a kind of writing lessons especially. And so how important is writing in language learning and teaching for you?
Well, this has been, I've had a little bit of a kind of realization, because I've been doing an FCE class with some of my ESOL students that they've passed, and there's nowhere else for them to go, and we've been talking about writing and things that they would like to focus on. And I thought it was going to be writing, because that's a big part of the FCE exam. It turns out they want to focus more on speaking and listening, which was a bit of I thought, oh, okay. But I think with writing, it depends. And I do have some students who are going on to university, and they want and need that focus on writing, academic writing, very specific writing. Then with the other, so not thinking about my pre-entry learners, my other general ESOL students, they have to do writing. As if they're doing a reading and writing class, there is a writing exam. And so we do need to focus on writing. It's the one skill that most of the students really, you mentioned writing, they don't
want to do that.
But I've been experimenting, and I've been doing some things to sort of hopefully make it less daunting and more enjoyable. And it is important, because they do need to be able to write at a certain level. Some of my students are starting their own businesses, so they're needing to write advertisements and promotional material. So it is important. It just depends on what they need the writing for. But I've been bringing in free writing, which I read about. So every class, for the first 5 minutes, free writing. I'm not going to see it. I don't want to know about it. I just want the student to write for 5 minutes about anything. And some of them think this is a bit odd. Some of them really want me to look at their work and mark it, which isn't the point. And quite a few of them have said it's been nice, because it's freeing. They can write without any fear of it being marked, and they feel that their writing is getting better.
Great.
And then doing activities, I think it was a Penny book, I'm not sure, but she had some really great cartoon prompts, and one was like a crime scene. And one of the ESOL, the entry 3 writing exam, you have 3 tasks. One is a formal report. The second one is like an article, short story, and the third one is an email. So I split the class into three. We used the prompt. One group are police detectives needing to write a report about the crime, so they get the formal writing. The second task, they're writers writing a sort of creative story about a crime. The third one, they've witnessed a crime out their window and they're writing to their an email to their friend, and they've really enjoyed that, and then they share their stories. So they've really enjoyed, I think, just having something a bit different. I've also set up a blog, which sadly has been a little bit neglected, but I thought it would be nice for students to write for an authentic audience, not just for me, not for the examiner, but to write to the wider world. And they've really, really enjoyed that. And it's great. Yeah, it's great writing practice. They can, I say, you know, you can write about whatever you like. Just please don't copy it from Wikipedia. Use your own words. And they do. And it gives them a chance to share stories about their experiences, their countries, their cultures. And so I think finding ways to bring writing in and making it fun and making it personal to them, something that they, you know, maybe you still have to meet the needs of the exam, but you can make it a little bit more personal, so they're writing about something that matters to them.
I understand.
Yeah. And with my my pre-entry students, and I meant to have a copy, I'll share it on Instagram. They've written books.
Wow.
It was so exciting. Very simple books. They've written about Eid, their Eid celebration. They've written about a beautiful sunny day. They've written about the kitchen and their favorite recipes. And I got them to work together. And obviously, you know, we supported them and helped them. They've written books. You know, functional English, is that going to help them in the everyday world? Probably not. But the confidence it gave them and the excitement and the sense of pride that they felt was, I think, really important.
Definitely.
Really lovely.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Meagan, for sharing your. Thank you. Let's move to another question. You know that the teachers, you know, really sometimes the writing becomes one of the difficult, you know, the skills for students and also for us to teach them. So, but sometimes students really get bored during the writing lessons. So, as a teachers, and how can we make our writing lessons more fun? What can you suggest?
Oh, you've got to shake things up a bit, and do some unexpected things. So one activity that's kind of the students, it was so unexpected, and I think they really enjoyed it. Was you get them maybe use a picture prompt or sort of a verbal prompt. This is what you're going to write about. And you get them to start writing, maybe give, depending on how confident they are, maybe a minute or 2 minutes to start writing. That's it. Ring a bell, move one seat down, and then they continue the other person's story. So they
very nice
kind of move, so you get a really strange but a kind of collaborative shared story, which is fun, and I've done that and they've really enjoyed that. And I would say as well, give them a task where they are not just writing for you, not just writing for the teacher or writing for the exam, but writing. And I think the blog is a nice idea, even if it's just shared within the class or the school. I think that's really nice because it gives them, I think a lot of times students feel this is pointless. I'm going to read this, or I'm sorry, I'm going to write this, give it to the teacher. What's the point? But if they write something that's going to be out there, it's a bit more exciting. So I think, find, you know, things like that are maybe a bit of a game, giving them prompts, maybe if they need to write, I suppose it depends on the level. I mean, if it's academic writing, that's probably a bit more difficult. But
Definitely.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but in general writing classes, make it fun, and maybe give them a task. They are reporters. They have to report and write something factual.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there are
I
ways to
got
make
it.
writing fun. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the suggestions about it. I'm gonna try the gallery one, the one
Oh
that's a
yeah,
change. It's a
it's
nice
good
one.
fun,
I'll
and you get
try.
some great stories, really good stories.
I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. I'll share it with you.
Oh, please do.
Okay, thank you. Let's move to another question, Megan. It's about, you know, that 21st century skills. It's really crucial and really important for all of us, and we are trying to teach these skills to our students
Mhm.
in our classrooms. Whenever we find a chance, whenever we find a time, we try to give these skills to our students. So my question is something, you know, the top vice versa. Why do we have to teach 21st century skills in the classroom, and how successful we are about it?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, when you say 21st century skills, you mean sort of like computer literacy and um
Like communication, critical thinking, these things.
okay. Yeah, I mean
Communication, collaboration.
I think it's important. I mean, thinking about my the higher level ESOL students I have, it is really important. I think it does help in terms of looking for work, finding jobs, being able to work with different people. Um, and I think critical skills are always important as
Mm-hmm.
well. You know, just being able to think about things, and I think in your own language, it can be a bit difficult, but it's definitely easier than having to do it in another language. So I think it is important for us to bring that into the classroom and to support the students and give them confidence and support to do that in another language.
Got it.
Definitely,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Megan. Thank you very much. So let's move to another question. By the way, just a couple questions left. You know, the time flies.
I know, I know.
Almost we are coming, yeah, coming the end of our live session, Megan. So let's move to another question. These are really different questions, and I really wondering what are you going to say about it. How do you see yourself in 10 years? And will you still be a trainer or teacher or try another jobs?
Definitely teacher here to stay. I would like to do more teacher training, and that's part of my CPD. I want to sort of do more. I'd love to have my own course or series of courses, and I'm going to keep teaching. That's
I
the
see.
plan. That is
Okay.
the
That's your plan. Wonderful plan. Great plan. Keep doing. Yeah. Okay. So next question is, uh, if you could have one superpower to use in the classroom, what would it be and how would it help you?
in my dreams. It would be the ability to shred all unnecessary paperwork. The teachers
Nice.
that
Nice one. Really, I like it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I know some paperwork is necessary, but there's a lot of paperwork that I think you could just, not have to worry about that. So that would definitely be my superpower.
Okay. You just want to get rid of them as soon as possible.
And
That
just
should be
teach, just
the
focus on the teaching, not filling in forms. Yeah.
I got it. Thank you. Okay, Megan. Let's move to another question. And think about that. We finished the interview, the live sessions, and you step outside the class, step outside the home, and find a lottery ticket, which it ends up winning $10 million. What would you do? Ooh.
Wow. Well, I'd buy a large paper shredder. That would be the first thing. um, yeah, I have thought about this. Anyway, what would I do? And I would keep teaching. What I'd love to do is to maybe have my own school. I would like,
Nice.
yeah, I would like to keep teaching ESOL, and maybe I don't know the logistics or anything, but to do my own funded ESOL courses
Mm-hmm.
would be. I'd love to do that.
I see. Okay, you will still keep the teaching. You become a millionaire and you still keep teaching.
Yeah, I might
Wonderful.
just have
Great.
better clothes, maybe. But
Uh,
yeah, there is. It's almost like an addiction. I
yeah,
love,
definitely.
I love
That's
teaching.
why we are teachers.
Yeah,
That's why we love our job. We love.
yeah, yeah. So I keep going. I keep going.
Yeah, even we become a millionaire, we still keep doing our job
Yeah,
because we love it.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful, Megan. All right, so by the way, last question is on the way. Okay? Yeah. Are you ready for the last question of the section?
I'm sad. I'm
Ah,
sad it's gone so, but I'm
don't be that. We are also sad that's gonna end. Okay, so here is the question, Megan. What is your motto?
this is a really interesting one. I've decided when I really thought about it, let go of fear,
Hmm.
because I
I
think
see.
fear interferes with so much. And thinking about as a teacher, it stops us from trying new things. It gets in the way of our confidence and maybe how we are in the classroom. Get rid of it. Be brave. Have fun. Do something new. Experiment and enjoy. So yeah, get rid of
I
fear.
see. Get rid of the fear. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Megan.
My
All right then. So wonderful. Thank you very much. So, Megan, before ending our live session, so would you like to add anything else? That's all, by the way, my questions.
yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. I've enjoyed it immensely. It's been a real pleasure. And thank you to all your followers with their great questions as well.
Okay. You're welcome, Megan. Okay, so I just wanted to say one more time, thank you very much for being with us and for your suggestions, for your advice, and especially which is the most important thing in your time. You spend your time here with us in Teacher Talks, and thank you very much, Megan. And Meagan Gaskell, by the way, am I pronouncing the correctly, Gaskell? Okay,
Perfect.
perfect. I'm so happy that I was thinking that I think pronouncing the correct or not, or should I ask her or not? But okay, wonderful. Okay, thank you very much. Meagan Gaskell was with us, and we had a fruitful session with her and tonight in Teacher Talks, and we talked lots of things with her, and we are going to be here next week on the same time, on the same day at the same time. As you know that Teacher Talks is always on Monday at 9 p.m. in Turkey time. And so until the next time, take care of yourselves wherever you are, of course. And you too, Megan, take care of yourselves.
You too.
And until next time, bye bye, everybody, and peace.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.